Hi all, welcome to session 30 of Azure Data Factory, and in this session we are going to cover the last remaining property of Get Metadata Activity, that is known as dynamic content. So dynamic content basically means you can put anything that you want of your choice, but here we are going to take uh, the metadata that we generate for a file during the copy activity, that is the custom metadata. It is not going to be the part of the 8 or 9 properties that we have seen so far. It is going to be our own custom metadata, that means our own custom fields and their values, and how we can use them in get metadata activity using the dynamic content. Okay, so let's get started. Let me see if it is recording. Yeah, now let me go to Azure portal and I'm logging into my Azure Data Factory Studio. So this is my Azure Data Factory Studio. Author. Okay, I think we are good. Fine. So let's get started. I'm going to create a new pipeline from scratch. So I'm going to give the name as pipeline get metadata dynamic content demo. Okay, so this is going to be my pipeline name. I'm going to use copy activity. So I'm going to pull copy activity here. And after that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a get metadata activity post this. Okay, let me connect these two and let's start configuring. So I'm going to use the old sales.csv file that we have been using in last sessions. So let me go and check whether the file is present in the ADLS source or not. So as you can see, variable input, the file is present. Okay, now let me go and start configuring the copy activity. So copy sales CSV file. In the source, I'm going to use ds and I'm going to say source variable input and I'm going to say sales.csv as my file. Okay. In the sync, I'm going to use again the same data set. I'm just going to put sync here, variable output, and I'm going to say sales.csv. Now here one extra thing that I'm going to do, this we have done in our copy sessions as well. Let me create a custom metadata field. So I'm going to say verified by me. Okay. Now this is going to be a custom field when you copy the file from source to sync in the metadata section. We will see how that is going to look like. So now let me go into get metadata. Here I'm going to select again the same data set. Since we are going to use the data from the sync, I'm going to say sync. I'm going to give the path variable output sales.csv. Okay, here I'm going to use dynamic content. Let me do it little more properly. Okay, so what I'm going to say, I'm going to say user properties. Okay, so this is going to be my argument. Now let's run the pipeline in debug mode. But before that, let me just validate. Yes, everything is looking good. Let me just validate using the debug. Let's see what happens. As you can see, the pipeline has been successful. Let me go to source, containers, sync, and here if I go and see the sales CSV, in the end you will see a metadata section where I have my custom field and value. Okay, now if you see the get metadata and you will see the output, it is giving you something after verified by equal to. So you are getting the value, but it is encoded by an encoder, 64-bit encoder. Because of that, your string is not getting properly generated. Okay, so now what you have to do is, in order to make sure that you get the correct value out of it, you have to decode this string after verified by. Okay, so in order to do that, you have to add one more activity here, that is going to be the set variable activity. It is going to be pretty simple step, so let me just connect both these two. And now here what I'm going to say, I'm going to create a new variable, verified by. I'm going to say it is a string type, and here what I'm going to do, I'm going to first use the user properties. Okay, so let me see get metadata output. So this is the get metadata output. I'm going to say I want user properties field. Okay, after that what want to do is I want to replace the key. So key is verified by. So here what I'm going to do, I'm going to say I don't want verified by in it, and whatever is after verified by equal to should be coming. Okay, now once you are getting this value, after that what you have to do is you have to say decode base 64. So now you are going to decode the value that is after verified by equal to. Okay, now click OK and let's validate. Everything is looking clean. Let me just do a debug run one more time. Okay, as you can see, your pipeline is successful, and here if you see, I'm getting my name. Okay, so using this user properties attribute, you can fetch the metadata that you have given on your own in the file, other than whatever default properties you have in the get metadata activity, and use it in your pipeline. But it is little bit tricky, so you have to be a little more imaginative to use this particular property. But at the end it will be useful in some scenarios where you want to use your own custom fields in order to perform certain tasks. Okay, so with this we have covered everything in get metadata. Okay, it's a very simple activity, but it is very powerful and very important. Most of the pipelines that are dealing with the files in Azure Data Lake or any other cloud storage, you will have to use get metadata in some steps of your pipeline. Okay, so that is why I have covered it in detail. After copy, this is the most important activity that you will come across in the data factory, and this is the uh, I would say the best way to get metadata for any kind of file or table. Okay, so whenever you want to get some information about data, think about get metadata activity first, and if it is not working, then only go to other ways. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me in this session. Please like, share and subscribe, and if you have any comments or feedback, please let me know in my comment sections. Okay, so let's see the lookup activity in the next session. Thank you so much for joining me.